Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
Kiss an angel good morning, and love her like the devil when you get back home. Come on, y'all, help us sing this song. Kiss an angel good morning, and let her know.
Welcome to DBL. It's Monday, December 14th. That was the late, great Charlie Pride singing his hit song, Kiss an Angel Good Morning, at the CMA Awards last month. He sadly passed away from complications due to COVID-19 on Saturday. I'm Jeff here with my friends Tori and Brandon. Let's jump right into this, guys. Charlie Pride was a true legend. The singer broke so many barriers, becoming country music's first black star in the 1960s. And up until the early 1990s, Charlie was the only black country singer signed to a major label. Now, earlier this month, Charlie performed at the CMAs, picking up a Lifetime Achievement Award, what we just listened to. The event was held indoors, and many people in the crowd did not wear masks, even though I heard everyone was tested. After Charlie's death, singer Maren Morris, who also attended the CMAs, tweeted and then deleted a post that suggested Charlie may have contracted the virus at the event. Now, in a statement, the CMA said, quote, Charlie was tested prior to traveling to Nashville. He was tested upon landing in Nashville, and again on show day with all tests coming back negative. After returning to Texas following the CMA Awards, Charlie again tested negative multiple times. Now, this is very sad news because he was a legend. Maybe we should speak on that first before we get into the nitty-gritty of why would Miriam Morris even say something like this if that is all true.
We'll get into the nitty-gritty because that's what we do. We're going to celebrate this man's life. I mean, I want to be honest. I don't want to be one of those people that's just going to sit up there and be like, oh, he did this. He was a pioneer in this. I didn't know much about him until his passing. But you go back and you read and you research and you see the things that he's done. He played professional baseball in the Negro Leagues before he crossed over into country music. So at 86 years old and all these accomplishments, he is to be celebrated, and he is an icon. And you saw everyone in the award show up there clapping, up there singing along word for word. I don't think that was one of those things where it's, hey, look at this black country artist, let's sing. No, that was someone that they looked at and they looked up to, and that was a pioneer and a legend in their music genre.
Yeah, his hero was Jackie Robinson, and just like Jackie Robinson really was a pioneer in his career, so was Charlie Pride. We wouldn't have seen like a Darius Rucker, right? Like, let's say now, who's clearing the charts, and even Darius Rucker spoke out and said he is just an angel, and it's a very, very big loss in the country music world. I think the optics, perhaps, of the CMAs, whether or not he got it there or not, weren't great. I also said it on the show. I thought it didn't look great. And Sam, our other co-host, said, well, what about SNL? And I was like, wow, you're right. They also don't do it with masks on.
What about the NFL?
Right.
What about any sport that gets tested? What about anything that gets tested? If everybody's tested, you're assuming there's no virus there. If they did have it, you'd be sent home. So for Miriam Morris to come out and blame the CMAs after he was tested, if all that what we read was true before, during, and after, how dare she put that on? That's how he died, a legend in their industry, and then you speculate. Like, to me, it just rubs me the wrong way. I don't like that she even said that.
But does that surprise you? Because in today's world, everyone wants to tweet some sort of outrage to get some sort of viral moment. Why do you think she had to walk that back? Because when you come out and you say, like you said, hey, he was tested before, after, moments later, you're sitting there and you're like, well, don't I look like a fool right now?
Yeah, but I do understand. I know what you're saying, because it's very wrong for her to have insinuated
if she didn't have it,
exactly.
Or she didn't know anybody that had it, and then she just came
and
out
she insinuated, absolutely,
yes.
She was wrong. But he was older, right? And he did go to a place without a ton of masks. Some say that's risky behavior, even if you are tested. I think she shouldn't have written it as well, but I think it's understandable why she might have thought the optics didn't look good.
Right. I'm just, like Brandon said, people are so quick to like point fingers and get to judgment. If she didn't contract it there and has no reason to say something like this, that's a big statement to just put out there and then delete it.
And she's very progressive, so for her deleting it, she was told that was wrong.
No award for her next year.
She's out. All right. Speaking of canceled, no, I'm just kidding. Well, maybe. You never know.
No, he's canceled.
Is speaking out over allegations of abuse. Last week, his ex-girlfriend, FKA Twigs, we're going to have to break that down later, too, filed a lawsuit against him claiming Shia had abused her both physically and mentally. Then over the weekend, singer Sia, which, is this the first time you've seen her face?
A lot of people haven't never seen her face.
I've never seen her face.
This is Sia.
I saw this over the weekend. This is Sia. She usually has the long hair covering her face. Called the actor a, quote, very sick pathological liar who conned her into having adulterous relationships after he claimed he was single when he was not. So he cheated on her. Okay. In a statement to the New York Times, Shia said, quote, I have no excuse for my alcoholism or aggression. I've been abusive to myself and everyone around me for years. I have a history of hurting the people closest to me. I'm ashamed of that history, and I'm sorry to those I hurt. Shia also said he is currently sober and in a 12-step program, but said many of the allegations against him are not true.
It got weird, some of these allegations, right? So some of them were he was very, very paranoid. So he would constantly sleep with the gun. This is all alleged, coming from FKA Twigs. And that when someone would approach, he would be very trigger happy. So she was in a constant state of worrying for her own life in that way, as well as other physical and verbal abuse. He's a hurt person. He has a strong addiction. He has a bad relationship with his father, and hurt people hurt people. But this guy's got a reputation over and over again for doing some crazy things. And when you physically abuse people, it's hard to get back into the pop culture's good graces.
Yeah, it's all alleged at this point.
All of it. Absolutely.
But you can, I kind of feel just off of his statement, Jeff, I kind of feel like he's trying to put that out there because they're bracing themselves for more allegations. I feel like more women are going to come forward and say more things, especially when you're hearing these women say, you're hearing these things about sleeping with the gun. People are going to come out and say these things because if you are one of those people who, like you said, are hurt and you're going along hurting people, before the whole Me Too movement and recently, like, you would get away with these type of things because people would be like, oh, he's just a free-thinking artist, let him go, or he's so talented.
I don't know about the physical abuse, but yeah.
Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, for years no one said anything.
There's power.
But now that power structure is crumbling. So I think that statement, I think this is not the last time we're going to talk about some of these allegations.
We've been doing stories about him. Again, this is all alleged, but we've been doing stories about Shia for years. I mean, some of the things that he's done is up there with crazy artists, right? Where he's posing naked in an art exhibit, and then, you know,
watching himself, remember?
Yeah.
And he watched himself for hours on end. He played his father in a movie about his life, and then he watched it in a theater.
He's definitely out there.
Yeah.
You know, artistry-wise, he's out there. And then remember that video where he's like, "Just do it." The motivational video, which came off kind of comical. This is the only thing I have with this. With Sia, like, she used those big words in there to make it sound like a bigger statement than it was. She's like, what would the adulterous
he conned me into an adulterous relationship.
So he cheated on her.
Yeah.
He was dating someone, and then he had some side relations with Sia. That's the truth of it. But then make up these big words to make it sound like he had an adulterous scandal? Like, no, he cheated on you.
Just say you was a side chick.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Brandon Leonard translation.
Exactly
right
However,
there,
she might have been privy to more of the abuse and wanted to stand up for FKA Twigs. But yeah, you're right. When I read that whole thing, I'm like, wait. So she just cheated with him. Yeah, okay, got it.
So wait, let's break. Does anyone know what FKA Twigs means? I'm not trying to be funny. I don't know what it means.
I still don't know what J.K. Rowling stand for.
J.K. Do you?
I
thought you would know that.
Joanna Kendall?
So Joanna K, middle name.
Yeah. But she used JK so that people didn't know it was a woman when she went to publish her book. Because if you see a woman's name, sometimes they have a bias and they won't do it. So she used initials.
What if you use FKA Twig?
You're going to be a winner.
Formerly known as.
Formerly known as.
All right, I'm not throwing stones. I'm going to get to the bottom of this at the end of the break because I don't know what it means.
No, FKA, formerly known as.
Oh, we got it.
Okay.
Oh, that's.
She said in multiple interviews, okay, that it's just a collection of letters, that they don't stand for anything.
Oh.
Ladies and gentlemen, he is a pro because he's getting that in his ear and he's reading that and he's saying that real time. Jeff Schroeder, everybody.
No. My name is HQ.
LBS.
All right, turning to happier news. The cast of Elf reunited for a virtual table read last night, my favorite Christmas movie. The original cast met over Zoom. Will Ferrell, Zooey Deschanel, and Papa Elf, Bob Newhart, all showed up, as did Santa. Ed Asner was filmed reading the script by his computer. Zoe and Will also recreated their famous duet, Baby It's Cold Outside. Let's take a look.
At least I'm gonna say that I tried.
Averting my pride.
Really can't stay. But it's cold outside.
I love that movie. Are you guys fans? I could watch it 100 times.
You've always, since the audition, I knew you loved Elf. What is it about Elf that you love so much?
Maybe just the kid in me.
Because he's like a kid,
He's
right?
just a giant kid.
Santa, I know him.
And you know what? Who sent me those? There's a behind the scenes. Did you send me those? So see when he was in the chair, like this is gonna sound crazy because I was just like, wait a second. So that was all camera work. You know what I mean? So they set him up that he was close and they moved everybody far away. Yeah, and they put it all together.
Whoa.
There's like a behind the scenes of how they did it all. So thank you so much, Alexa.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that's
when
so
I saw that, it totally like snapped in my head. And I'm talking off camera, having a conversation like I'm not even on TV. Hey, what are you guys doing for the holidays, Sherry?
What about you, Rob?
I'm just hoping you come up with more fun facts because I have nothing for that.
You like Elf?
I've seen it once. It was cool. It reruns on TBS all the time. But
if you're looking for something else on AMC, Wish for Christmas is airing as well.
And someone I know is in that.
I heard Pastor Paul gave him an Oscar-winning performance.
But who played Pastor Paul?
FKA Schroeder.
You gotta make time for this.
Oh, there we go.
There it is. is.
Listen, I got a quick story about Bob Newhart before we go. I was at.
I love Bob Newhart.
I know. What's the mall? Not the Grove, but the one in between Santa Monica and Hollywood.
The Promenade.
Not the
West
Street.
Westfield.
Westfield, Westfield,
Yeah, that one. Look, I am just having conversations on my own today. But anyways, I was there walking around. It's like an outdoor mall in LA, and we sat down just to get like a burger. I sat down, and Bob Newhart was right next to me. I was like freaking.
What'd you do?
Out. I didn't do anything because I wanted to be like, oh my God, my mom would freak out. Can I get a picture? But you know, he's getting older. He was just having a hamburger. You know what I mean? I didn't want to bother, but I was like.
I could watch Bob Newhart just sit down and say nothing.
But you know the genius, like
the comedy of timing of that man.
Yes.
You can watch him read a newspaper and it's hilarious. Just some people have it, and I know Will Ferrell has it, and that's why Elf is wonderful. But really, if we're talking Ed Asner and Bob Newhart, those are the icons that like he could read me the weather, and I'd be like,
I just wanted to talk to him, be like, how's it? Just like have a conversation.
Totally.
But then he'd be like, you ruined my appetite. I hate you. And
no, he wouldn't. He seems very nice.
I know he probably would have, but I don't like to bother people.
I know.
That was a little side. When I said that, I'm like, I almost met him one time.
You kind of met him.
All right, coming up at DBL, Tori is catching up with actress Rachel Bilson. She's sharing her favorite holiday traditions and last-minute gift ideas. And the Cleveland Indians baseball team is changing its name. We'll talk about why next. Welcome back to DBL. A lot of people have opinions about this. The Cleveland Indians are reportedly changing the name of their baseball team after 105 years. The decision comes after groups like the National Congress of American Indians worked for decades to try and get the name changed, but many people, including the president, say the decision was, quote, cancel culture at work. What do we think up here, guys? They got rid of that logo, which I'll kick it off.
That was
Offensive.
terrible.
That was offensive.
Yeah.
Right? So I believe in 2018 they got rid of that. But the Indians name, now let's get into that. Is that offensive?
To Indians it is.
Is it?
Yeah, a lot of people have gone.
What about the Cowboys? Is that offensive?
Well,
I think
Wait, hold on,
but
hold
the
on.
cowboy is celebrated in American culture. When you think of the Indian, it's not celebrated in American culture. Those are marginalized people. Remember, like when I look at that logo and you see that Indian smiling, like you're sitting there like, why is it smiling? You're basically just saying, oh, you came and stole my land. Let's go play some baseball. You know, like that's what I look at.
I think it's important to say, because the historical context of Indians is different than cowboys, right? Like no one perjured or hurt cowboys. They were always able to take the land, but they were like,
did.
what?
The Indians did.
Well, that was their land first, right?
I know.
So like they were raped, they were pillaged, everything was taken from them, and then to use them and sort of to mock them in that way, the context is just awful. Now I come from D.C., Washington D.C. We had the Redskins for a really long time, and I found that incredibly weird for all of my life. They recently changed it, and we call it the Washington football team. We don't even say the name anymore. But I think at this point, I don't think it's cancel culture when it's proven to have hurt an enormous group of people and it's gone on for decades. This isn't like a quick thing, oh, he said something, oh, she said something. This is like a hurt that's deep, and I think they've asked for it for decades, and it's the right time to do it.
To be honest, I'm on your side. I'm just trying to make a conversation out of this for people at home. What about like the Blackhawks, I'm from Chicago. Should the Blackhawks be renamed now?
I think you have to ask the tribes around Chicago at some point.
Or the Florida State Seminoles, like there's a lot of teams out there that acquired some sort of Indian culture as their mascot.
Yeah, but my thing is for the people who are saying like, oh, why are we changing it? Oh, it's cancel culture. You're not going to the game for the mascot. So what is it up to you? Not you in general, Jeff, but what is it up to you if they change it because they feel like people think it's derogatory? Now you see with Nike and Colin Kaepernick, you see that with the Nike strike, they made more money backing Colin Kaepernick than they did not backing Colin Kaepernick. So I think that the Indians, yes, you may have met with community leaders and all, but you saw the money involved with it as well, to where it was like people will come to our games when we change it. No one's going to boycott if we change the name, or we won't lose money if you change the name.
I'm with you there. I think everyone likes a rebranding of sorts, right? You get new memorabilia, new cool.
50 years later, it's going to be an antique.
And I guess you're doing a good thing.
It's a win-win, I think.
Yeah. All right. Coming up on DBL, you know her from the OC and Heart of Dixie. But did you know Rachel Bilson has a knack for giving gifts? She's got a last-minute holiday gift guide coming up next.
Welcome back to DBL. Actress Rachel Bilson rose to fame on hit shows like The OC and Heart of Dixie. Earlier, she shared some clever gift ideas with me in today's Chatting with the Stars. Rachel Bilson, welcome to DBL. Many of us are just starting to shop and ship out gifts for the holidays, and you actually have some good tips for finding the perfect gifts. But first, I want to know what your favorite Christmas traditions are, and did you have to tweak any this year just during the pandemic?
My family, especially my mom's side, is Italian. We're all about cooking and baking, and so we do a huge feast for Christmas Eve. We do all the Christmas cookies that I look forward to every year. And this year, my daughter gets to do it all with us, so I'm really looking forward to that.
What's your favorite Christmas cookie?
Oh, that's so hard to pick.
I know.
My mom, there's these Italian cookies called pizzelle. I know, there's so many, and like these butter cookies that are so good, and this mandel bread, which kind of, it's like our Christmas thing because my dad's side of the family is Jewish, so we have like a really good combination going on.
That's great. I'm Jewish, so mandel bread, you're speaking my language. I love that. Many fans know you from the OC and Heart of Dixie. In addition to acting, though, you are such a fashionista. What's your favorite winter fashion trend? Is there ugly Christmas sweaters? Is there like an earmuff? I'm doing earmuffs. What's your favorite winter trend?
Oh, earmuffs. I mean, the matching sweatsuit has definitely been my staple this whole pandemic.
Nice.
And what I would wear anyways. So I am very thrilled about that. And I have half of it on right now. I like had enough, energy to put jeans on with a sweatshirt. And I'm like, okay, I'm dressed up.
Mazel on that. Jeans are hard. I want to ask you about your 6-year-old daughter, Briar Rose, which is the nicest name in the whole wide world. What excites her most about Christmas, and what does she want from Santa this year?
Okay, so she just loves all of Christmas, and Elf on the Shelf's huge, but what's funny was the #1 thing on her list, Amazon sent like a gift guide in the mail, and the first thing she circled was the Echo.Kids edition. And not only was I so excited that I knew what to get her, I was so excited because she's gonna have another friend to talk to in the house, other than just mom. But no, it's really cool, and she's really into music right now, so she can, have Alexa play her favorite songs, and there's parental control, so I don't have to worry about, that.
That's really, really smart. So Amazon Fire Stick, I'm adding the Echo also, because I want to call out songs and things like that, like, hey Alexa, play Taylor Swift over and over and over again. Yeah.
Over and over and over, because everyone really needs that right now.
100%. Happy holidays, Rachel, and thank you again for teaming up with Amazon for some really good gifting ideas.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, and enjoy your Munzel bread. We'll be right back.
Thank you. Yes.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Welcome back to DBL. Did you like that?
No.
That was like a stadium announcer. You got some comments, Tori?
Let's get ready to rumble.
A new mascot and a new stadium announcer.
Yeah.
Cleveland.
We sure do. JB wrote in, this is about Charlie Pride. I loved his unique voice. He was such a legend and he will be missed. Dale wrote in, rest in peace, Charlie. Kiss an Angel, Good Morning for me. That was, of course, his huge hit, Kiss an Angel, Good Morning. His voice was just like that wonderful country, leathery kind of sound.
Angel?
Like an angel.
There you go, guys. DBL's new every day. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place.